Story 1. You should think twice about dating someone with a criminal past. I had just gotten out of an 8-year abusive relationship and decided to give online dating a try. I wasn't looking for anything serious, just some company to enjoy a movie or a drink with. With 2 boys to take care of, I was content and finally living a peaceful life after enduring a challenging past. Then, I met a guy a few years older than me who seemed to have turned his life around. He used to be involved in gangs and drugs, but was now into fitness and family activities. I felt a sense of protection around him, and our shared past struggles made us seem like a good fit. Our initial dates were normal, but he gradually wanted more of my time. When I hesitated, he became really angry, triggering memories of my previous controlling relationship. After 3 months, I decided to end things. However, he confessed to using steroids, attributing his mood swings to them. Against my better judgment, I agreed to give him another chance, but insisted on just being friends. Over time, his insistence on constant communication and possessiveness became overwhelming. I eventually stopped talking to him, but 6 months later, he did the scariest thing possible to me. I was happy and living my life, and on one particular night, I lay down in bed and go to sleep. So a little info on my living situation. I had been living in my condo for almost a year now, and we lived in a great, safe community, and I would leave my patio sliding glass door open, screen closed, to get a breeze in at night. No biggie. My bedroom was close to the patio, and my son would sleep in the loft that was closest to the front door. I'm dead asleep when I suddenly feel someone slowly sit on my bed. I'm laying in bed wondering why my son would come sit on my bed so slowly. He wouldn't. I turn around, and it's not him. It's Mario, not his real name, laying down in bed next to me. I sit up and ask him how he got in. He's not answering me. He says, "I needed to talk to you." I said, "Okay, when you need to talk to someone, you don't sneak into someone's room, you call them, you leave a note for them, literally anything but this." I'm thinking I'm gonna kill my kid for letting him in. He said, "I didn't have your number anymore. I needed to talk to you before it's too late." I didn't even entertain the before it's too late bit because I was livid, but something told me to keep my cool. I sit up and say, "Look, I really want to talk to you too. But not like this. Please, just leave and I promise we will talk tomorrow. Call me tomorrow." He gets up and walks over to my side of the bed and starts rubbing my shoulders and is slowly making his way to my neck. He says, "Do you really want to talk?" I look him in the eyes and say, "Yes, I've been wanting to talk to you, but not like this. Please call me tomorrow." He stares at me while rubbing my neck and goes down to my shoulders and lets go. Says, "Okay." This motherfucker proceeds to exit through my patio door and jumps my patio wall, which tells me that is exactly how he got in. I freak the fuck out, check on my kid. He had no idea what was going on, locked all my doors, and I don't sleep the rest of the night. The next day I text him and I tell him that if I ever see him near me or in my complex, I will call the police and to never contact me again. If you're wondering why I didn't call the cops to begin with, I knew he had a gun. So A, I was scared of being retaliated against for being a snitch, and B, I figured if I called the cops they would probably not do much or just let him out, and I was afraid of what he would do after the fact. Either way, he left me alone, and I didn't hear from him for years. 4 years later, I'm going through Facebook, and I see his face in People You May Know. I click on the picture and notice that it looks like a jail picture. You know, those pictures where the guy is clearly in a jail cell. I scroll down the page, and his most recent post is him posting his address for his family members to write to, a prison address. So I Google his name, and sure enough, articles after articles, all with the same headline: "Man arrested on suspicion of killing girlfriend." About 2 years after him and I dated, he shot and killed the girl he was dating. That could have been me, and I feel like shit thinking if there was anything I could have done to stop him. Even scarier thought is that he only got 12 years for her murder. Story 2. It was my first time using the app and dating after like 3 to 4 years. I matched with a Chinese guy. He seemed really nice and his pictures made him seem very handsome. We talked for about a week pretty consistently, and I liked him a lot from text. When he asked me to meet up with him, I said of course. We met and he was nothing like his pictures. I later found out that he used Godfrey Gao's photos and not his own. He said he used the pictures because people thought he was too ugly. I should have left then, but I didn't, and we talked. He asked if I wanted to go for a walk at a park down the road, and I said sure. I didn't see the harm in it. I told you I'm really naive. I got into this guy's car, stupid, and off we went. To another city about 30 minutes from the coffee shop we'd been at. He says he comes here all the time, there's a nice trail, so I'm like, okay, we can take a walk and talk. Nope. He parked and started kissing me, then he started groping me. I was honestly terrified. He wanted me to get into the back seat, and when I said no, he dragged me out of the car and made me get into the back seat. I was freaking out, but it was like I was frozen. He locked the doors when he got in, and I was trying to push him away and keep him off of me, but he wouldn't stop. I kept saying no, and I'll never forget these words. He kept saying, "I've never fucked a white girl." He assaulted me, but I was lucky enough to fight him off and force the door open. I reached into the window of the front seat and grabbed my purse and took off down the little road, and a car was there, a high school girl. I probably scared her to death, but I ran to her and begged her to act like we knew each other so the guy didn't drag me back. She called 911 and told me to get into her car, so I did, and she locked the doors for me. The guy came looking for me. My sweater was still in his car and he was screaming for me, but the girl said we were best friends, so she'd take me home. The police came and took me for a statement. I had to take pictures of the scratches and bites he left on me, and the female cop helped me fix my clothes. I never told anyone. I had just broken up with my boyfriend of 3 years because I found him in bed with my best friend, since diapers. I guess I wanted to feel something, be attractive to someone. I don't know. But I learned my lesson, and now I make people send pics to me for proof they match their photos. Be careful, please. Story 3. Back in 2017, I was looking for an apartment, but also looking to date. I got a message from this guy who seemed nice enough. As things began to process a week or two, we decided to meet. Upon meeting, he seems oddly excited. He told me he'd see me around, and was so happy I finally gave him a chance. I told him in the week leading up I was looking for an apartment, and he sent me photos of one he claimed his friend was subletting right next to his. Before going on the date, he asked, did I want to see the apartment? I said yes. We get to the apartment and I look around. I said it's nice and we should go. Big mistake. He said, no, I'm not letting you go. For the next 5 to 7 hours he kept me in his house, imploring me to drink water and have sex with him. My phone has died, and I was getting scared by the moment. He would whisper some crazy shit and then go back to begging. Finally, I told myself I wouldn't die there, nor would I allow him to make me a victim. I had been sexually assaulted in the past, and I said if this ever happened again, I would fight. I am a former boxer, and so I stood up and promised him sex, but I needed him to get to the bed first. He walks to the bedroom, and with all my strength, I gave him the hardest right hook, and ran. I got outside and fell, still have the scar to this day. I went to the police, but a few days later, they said that the apartment was owned by an older gentleman, and there was no young guy. I tried to show them his profile, but it was gone. I told them his name, but it was fake. I told them he was still texting me, but they told me as long as he didn't make contact, I was fine. I reported him to Occupid, but they never took his profile down. How do I know, since it disappeared? I see it periodically, even to this day. For weeks he texted me asking why I ran, why I wasn't answering, and I was his. I never could get him to make a threat or find his real location.